this time of year, particularly when you hear rumors like LeBron maybe coming to Boston and that kind of stuff, to really, you know.
It puts things at ease. Obviously, the speculation from the outside is inevitable. So you don't really try to control that narrative. You try to focus on what's important, what we need for going until next year, being aware of who we have now and what we're capable of, and things that we need to kind of fix or get done, and just go from there.
Have you guys had any conversations about just the LeBron rumors out there?
No.
Have you had any discussions about your future beyond this coming year? You get a greater sense of self-determination after this year, but have you talked about that at all?
No.
What's your hope? What's your desire?
Well, my hope is that maybe we could limit it to maybe one question a day about what I'm doing next year. So, that's my hope, but obviously I can't necessarily control that. So, but I think that you guys can feel my attitude is really just redemption next year. Really integrating myself with our team again and really focus on winning a championship. That's the only thing I'm really worried about. Until I get to that point, then I can't really, clearly concise answer any questions. So I'm pretty sure management and I will have a talk, but that talk won't happen now.
Kyrie, if you go into next year and you're on a one-year deal, essentially, do you think that'll affect the team or you adversely at all?
For me, I think it's unfair in terms of putting responsibility and also putting that communication with other guys. And the focus is solely on winning a championship next year. So I don't think it'll necessarily have an effect. I'm doing my best to kind of deflect all that and focus on what's in front of us.
What the roster is currently constructed, do you look at it as, whenever you get to camp, you've probably never played in that competitive of an atmosphere?
I've played in some high
practice-wise.
Yeah, practice-wise. I played in some high-level environments, man. So I think that the greatest thing is that it doesn't necessarily happen in the NBA as often. Usually you're in like USA or an All-Star game or something like that where you have a lot of other good and great players. But now that we're in an environment and we can challenge one another, and the game kind of seems easy for us because now no one's going to be going at JB as hard as Gordon is, or no one's going to be testing Gordon when he's coming back and integrate himself back in like JT is. Because at the end of the day, we're all competitors. We all have come from being the best player or one of them at a certain time and place, and we want to showcase that. Them playing well is only beneficial for our team, only beneficial. I love that they have that belief in themselves because they saw it firsthand what it's like to be on that big stage. It's only good for the experience.
What's your reaction to the finals? I mean, you played with a bunch of those guys. You played against those other guys. What was your take on what you saw?
It was just the Warriors are just, man, they're that great. You see in a game 3 in Cleveland, and you see the difference on why KD is so special. You see it 43, and then you see 12, 11, 10, 10, 10, 10. And the year before, and playing them in 2016, they couldn't necessarily get away with a game like that. And they've afforded that of integrating all that team environment, and now adding a very, very special player. Just a big fan of what he does out on the floor.
One thing, you are eligible for an extension this summer. I'm just wondering, does your injury change at all how you look at that, even though you have to put some money on the table?
No. Contractually or financially, just wouldn't make any sense.
Gary, some fans were kind of wondering about Game 7, you not being there, and Danny said you had some kind of nasal surgery.
I did.
What kind of went into that?
I had a deviated septum from an elbow I took in 2014. So it was about time I got that fixed, and I was hoping to be back for Game 7, but I was at home with my daughter and my dad.
Kyrie, what's important to you going forward this year and beyond next year, personally and professionally?
I would say just the consistency, authenticity, and honesty from everything that we're doing as a team and an organization, and doing something bigger than myself. That's what we all compete for. I really just can't wait to see how we all kind of feel going into the summertime when we get together. Obviously, I'll definitely put together a few camps for us as the summer continues. But I mean, they deserve the vacation time, man. I gotta still get to work in terms of what I gotta do to prepare. So just leave those guys alone for a little bit, then we'll start getting back into it.
And you obviously feel like that's what you have here in Boston, authenticity and all that.
For sure. and young guys that literally have that drive. They have that desire to be great, and I couldn't be more proud that they experienced. I mean, they went to Game 7 of the freaking Eastern Conference Finals.
All right, last question.
Kyrie, if there was an opportunity to have you reunited with LeBron James, is that something you'd be open to or against?
I mean, like I said, in this business, I've kind of experienced it all, and I've seen a lot. So, we'll see what management decides.
Great.
What was it like to see the movie? Like, see yourself, and I'm sure you've seen it by now.
Just
the final product.
I mean, you guys know I overanalyze everything, and I see it. Talk about it, so it's just like, it was great to see it, but I'm really critical over myself.